welcome. I am so happy to have you, and thank you for tuning in, listening to my couch surfing days. Now, I did this because I wanted to be really outside of my comfort zone. I've always heard of people couch surfing before, and I've had this judgment of like, oh my God, I would never do that. That sounds terrible. I really value my own space, blah, 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 blah. I always kind of like stuck my nose up at it, and I was super fucking humbled when I made the decision to couch surf for 3 or so months with friends and family. And really, I want to break down in this episode the main things I learned, in addition to sharing the really cool places I've been. But this episode, I think I summarized very quickly for myself and reflected like, oh shit, this is out of the comfort zone that I'm talking about here. These are the lessons that are hitting me right in the face, and I'm humbled by them. So we're gonna get right into it. So last episode, I landed my feet in New York City. That was the first time back in the United States for a very long time. So I explored New York, absolutely loved it. So the next place that I went to stay with friends and family was North Carolina. I've never been to North Carolina before. I'm really not familiar with the East Coast, period, to be honest with you. The East I've ever been was Florida, but I don't even count Florida as East Coast. I call it South. Anyways, I went to North Carolina and I stayed with my cousin, and he was very, just so welcoming and just kind, and he has 2 little kittens, so that was like really sweet, was to like have kitten roommates for a little while, and get myself some like exposure, because I do want kittens in my life. I've never had them before. It was a good little practice. But yeah, he cooked, he just made me feel like an amazing guest. So I really appreciated that experience. I appreciated just like, this like idea of family and being taken care for, but also like still given my like own space and autonomy. Like it felt really nice. So I stayed in the Raleigh-Durham area, and again, I ate really good food, met some of my cousin's friends. So it was nice to just be in a different environment, period. That's what I really like about traveling to new places, is like, oh my God, like people live here. What do they eat? What do they say? What are they wearing? You know what I mean? So just kind of like, I'm still in culture shock at this point of just coming back from, the UK and Europe. And so now I'm like in North Carolina. So I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of barbecue, and there's a lot of meat, and there's a lot of chicken, and there's a lot of accents. What's happening right now? So kind of just like shocked, kind of felt like I was in another country, to be honest with you. Because I'm not used to that. I'm from Colorado originally, where there's just like no real accent, and it's just everyone just stays in their own lane. So to go to like a more southern / hospitable place, I was like, whoa, what's fucking happening? So staying with my cousin, like I said, that was nice, and that was really my first couch surf. I did have a bed, which was very nice. Couch surfing doesn't exactly mean you're laying on the couch, folks, but sometimes it does, and that's okay too. I'm just very grateful, period, for everyone that opened up their home to me. Very kind. So after I stayed with my cousin, then I went to Asheville, North Carolina, and I was really looking forward to Asheville. I heard so many cool things. And like I said, I'm from Colorado. I'm specifically from Golden, which is only like 20 minutes from downtown Denver. And Golden is known for Coors Brewery, the beer. In addition to just Colorado in general is obsessed with breweries. So Asheville kind of reminded me of like a baby Golden, but in North Carolina. So different emphasis on like food, but like in terms of just kind of like the hippy dippy mountain loving, flannel wearing people, like bluegrass style. Like, I felt like, okay, like there's a lot of crossover here with what I'm used to. So that was cool. But I stayed with my friend who's also a fellow coach and counselor. So it was really great to connect with her on that one-on-one level. And she had a really sweet dog. She had a beautiful view, her property of the mountains, and it was just so peaceful. It was so calming. I also had my own room. I had my own space. Like, it was just really nice to relax and like have a slow heart rate for once, while also just like soaking up Asheville and shopping around and eating all the food and listening to live music, which was really great. So yeah, I just really enjoyed that one-on-one time, and I haven't even known her that long, but it just felt like years and years and years and years of friendship. So I was really grateful for Asheville. It just felt really nice and cool. I really enjoyed it. So from just North Carolina, I was able, like I said, to grasp really quickly, like, what are some themes and patterns here just by couch surfing for, almost a month now at this point. The number one pro I will tell you is TV time. I finally was able to watch TV. Like, that's such a really lame epiphany, but I think we take advantage of like television, folks, because when I was traveling, like, the only time I watched TV was on my laptop and maybe like a show here and there before I went to bed, or like when I was like eating on the go or something. But like, when you're couch surfing, I mean, let's be clear too, like, I am working. So after working hours on my laptop, I watch TV. I watch TV with my hosts, and it was really cool to just relax and be entertained. It's definitely a privilege to be this relaxed and have access to TV and leisure time. So I felt really grateful. And it was also just like a cultural thing too, of like, what is like the hosts, like this family, like what are they watching on television? What are their shows? What are they interested in? So that was just really nice. It was like TV and movie time and just like catching up, because again, like because I've been traveling, I've been out of it, of like what's new, what's popular. So that was cool. A con, I would say, with couch surfing up at this point was not having my own car. Now, in North Carolina, with these two places that I was staying in, both of them do kind of live a little bit out there, meaning like not in the city, like not in the city center. So I did have to rely on Ubers, or sometimes they offered to drive me, but I felt like this was the out of the comfort zone challenge I'm talking about. It's like, oh shit, I don't have my own autonomy. I'm like depending on someone else. And like the feelings that came up for me of when I'm dependent on somebody else made me feel like I was a kid or something, that I like, didn't have my own freedom. But really it was fine. But it was just kind of like, oh shit, I'm in America, which means America, you need a fucking car to get around, because we don't have the transportation like over there in Europe and the UK. Like, it's shitty over here. Now, some US states are better than others, for sure. And especially New York. That was incredible. Don't need a car there in New York City. However, North Carolina, it just kind of hit me of like, yep, Paige, you don't have a car. So instead of spending too much time on the lack of the things I don't have, okay, you don't have a home, you're You don't have a car. Okay, I could have focused on that, but instead I focused on gratitude for spending time with friends and family. Like I mentioned, the TV time, just the quality time and being able to slow down. That was one of the first patterns I noticed in this couch surfing journey. And there's definitely more lessons. Stay tuned for next episode when I share with you the next state that I go to. If this podcast truly resonates with you, take a screenshot of the episode and share it on your social media story. Tag me on Instagram or Facebook, and my handle is @paigemitchell.coach. I'm so excited to see what you shared and connect with you. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care.